Well, first thing I'm going to say is I've been riding this bike, this Continental GT now for quite a while. And thank you Royal Enfield, because I've used this pretty well every day. And to be honest with you, I've actually fallen in love with it. I've said before, the Royal Enfield is a good bike. It probably suits my generation more than probably people would realise, because we're going from maybe, we've been working on old bikes in here and showing what we've been finding. The older bikes are quite straightforward, easy to work on. Well, this is exactly the same. The thing about this, it's not overcomplicated. And I love all the bikes that are out there, retro bikes, but sometimes there's too much going on. What I mean is, when a rider's been used to an old bike, he doesn't have things like, I don't know, rain mode, sport mode, and all those sort of modes, and wet mode. He just wants to start a bike and ride it. This has ABS, which is brilliant, and you have fuel injection, and that's all you got to worry about. You know, everything is straightforward. The switchgear, especially on this new one, is so nicely laid out. There was nothing wrong with the old one, but this is so much better. In riding this bike, the reason we've had this, and people know, we've had my son's bike here, which is a Continental GT, and Tech have helped us out with some parts, and we've shown people what you can do. Out of the two, the Interceptor and the Continental GT, I still like the sporty bike, although I'm a little bit older now, obviously, but I like the style of the bike. And this new one, I thoroughly enjoy riding it, to the point where I'm selling my A65 and I would like to buy one of these. I would like to buy something like one of these now, and I will probably, the way I would go about it, is I will probably go away with this outer case here. I think Royal Enfield might even think the same. If you was to have that, a polished case, a polished rocker box, and the drive on the other side, the cover, which is our clutch cover, if that was polished, that would look so nice. And we would probably change the silencers and maybe have spoke wheels. But it's such a nice bike to ride. And what I've really enjoyed about the experience of the Royal Enfield and working on Sam's bike, that easy to work on. And Alex was here and we took the tank off, and we had the rocker box off, we adjusted the tappets. It's straightforward. You know, when you come to actually work on one, you realise how good they are. And the quality of the finish underneath, what you don't see, underneath the tank, the layout of the wiring, the whole lot is so good. It isn't a budget bike, it is a good quality built bike. It sits there with all the other bikes. I didn't mention any names, but I think when you buy one of these, for what you get for your money, it's absolutely brilliant. And using this every day, and this is where it would sit with me, be a bike that I would use all the time. I don't want a big heavy bike anymore. But as standard, it sounds nice, it goes well, it's got plenty of power. It doesn't need any more. It's quite capable of keeping up with the traffic. You know, it can do over 100 miles an hour, we know that. I mean, but it cruises happily over 70 miles an hour.
Anything wrong with it, Dave?
Anything wrong with it? Probably for me, it's got too much black. I would probably go for spoke wheels by choice. That's my choice. But do you know what? For this sort of finish, this is brilliant as an all-weather, all-round year bike, because cleaning this is so easy. You know, if you've got a bucket and a sponge, and you put your cleaner in there, you put, you know, soap in there, and you can wash the bike off in half an hour. You can wash it off, dry it off, done. There's no polishing to worry about. So it's a good, easy bike to live with. If you don't want the chrome to be bothered with, the aluminium to be polished up, you know, that's what I mean really, the aluminium cases to be polished. Don't worry about it with this, you know, it's just keep it clean. It's a nice looking bike. The one thing I would say, and I'll be honest, I took my partner, Debs, and bless her, she's not a big motorcyclist. She came on the back, and because I don't think it fares well after a pillion, because the seat does slope off a little bit, and it's quite hard for pillion. But I wouldn't ride this two up, it would be just me riding this bike. But it does slope back, and she felt she's been drawn to the back of the seat. I'll be honest with you, I've done probably the best part of almost 1,200 miles on this, and so Royal Enfield, thank you so much, because we only usually get a chance to ride a bike for a few hours, don't we? And we take it back to the dealers. And to actually have the bike for this long, and I've looked after, I've washed it, it's got a bit grubby now, and it's been in rain, and it's had better weather recently, but it's been used in all different types of conditions. You know, I've been riding in the dark, and the lights are very good. But the gearbox on these, I would say, is one of the best gearboxes, better than a lot of other people's gearboxes. It's a very smooth gearbox. It's a very torquey engine. It's a very easy bike to ride. I mean, to be honest with you, someone that's ridden for a long time, they won't get bored on one of these. If you've ridden all the big bikes, and I know several people that have said they don't want the big bikes anymore and they're quite happy to have something like this. Why not? I think it's really good.